Hey, good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Can you believe it is Friday? What a week we have had. It's been like it's been in overdrive. I do hope you're feeling well. We're at 67 right now with light rain throughout the area. Be careful. We just got our first mention of an accident. Let me pull this up to show you this if you're going to be traveling I-20. We'll pull this up. Newton County is where this is located. Mile marker 118. I do now see that there are no injuries, but a truck, of course, with the rain, slid off the road and it's in the median there. They'll be having to pull that out in a little bit, so use caution as you're coming along there. Mile marker 118, Newton County is where that is. Use caution this morning. And I'd like to tell you that no more is going to happen, but that's just not the case with rain. We have them every time that it rains. The roads are real slick right now. It's not real hard. That oil is out. Extra caution if you're coming in Meridian. I-59, 20 split. Constantly have wrecks there. Go a little bit slower there. We want you to get there in one piece today, so to speak. A lot of sleepyheads this morning that made their way to the Haggard show that was in Philadelphia last night for Jimmy Rogers. Ben Haggard. Noel, I think, was there as well. Scott McQuaig. So some sleepyheads. Y'all give them a little credit there. They went out and supported some things. Another show tonight, which has been moved to the Temple Theater. If you're a Jimmy Rogers fan, got tickets. Red Clay, I think is the name of that group. Yeah. I'll look it up in a minute. We've got that. We'll have all that information coming up at 7 o'clock this morning. So I do hope you'll join us for that as we begin that. And as it seems to be a trend this week of me forgetting to do things, we're going to start our program from the church. And, well, I'm going to have to adjust it because I just didn't change it a minute ago. And my apologies for that. We'll be back on track with a little bit more rest next week and try not to make that mistake. All that's up and coming here. We got some headlines and your weather. We're at a level 2 now. We'll get into all of that this morning.
Proverbs 10:4 says, lazy hands make a man poor.
You know, the book of Proverbs is full of wisdom. It was written to people who were primarily farmers. They raised what they ate. And so a lot of the wisdom communicated to us is through agricultural allusions. Now, today's piece of wisdom is a good example of this. Proverbs 10:5 says, he who gathers in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps in harvest is a son who brings shame. Now, when it comes to farming, you have to be active and working to make a living and to put food on your table. It doesn't just show up at your house. You have to grow it, cultivate it, harvest it, and then cook it. And then you can eat it. And you can't just do this whenever you want. There's a growing season, late spring into summer through early fall. And then there's a season where nothing will really grow, late fall into the winter through early spring. And so you have to get while the getting's good. He who gathers in summer is a prudent son, but he who sleeps in harvest is a son who brings shame. And so the prudent, wise person works hard and takes advantage of every opportunity. Plenty and fullness and satisfaction will be their future. But the shameful person is lazy and sleeps through the opportunities they're presented. Lack and emptiness and hunger will be their future. Beloved, we have to work. We have to make every opportunity that we have. And this principle doesn't apply just to farming. It applies to all of life. You got to get up and get her done. Nobody's going to do it for you. So stop laziness, stop with excuses, and go make the most of the opportunities God has given you. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Well, we welcome Sevierville, Tennessee joining us this morning. Borden and Jean, how are y'all today? Glad you could do that. Kay Myers joins us from the big city of Brandon, Mississippi today. So many of you from all over the world watch us, and we cannot thank y'all enough for being a part of what we do every day. We'll give you the headlines and let you know what's happening locally and, well, all these big stories nationally as well as we do this. What happens when you own a daycare and, well, the little tykes just, well, they won't go to bed. They won't take their nap. Well, you sprinkle their food with a little bit of sleeping stuff. Ooh, New Hampshire daycare all in deep trouble with this. There's been arrests with this, and that's what they were actually doing. Sprinkling it on the food to make them sleepy after lunch so they'd take a nap. You can't do that. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. A big naughty. Parents had no idea. They're upset beyond. You would understandably be mad if that were your child or your grandchild. huge investigation there. So naughty, several arrests with that. People just sometimes never shock you, the things that they do. Oh, this is going to be headed to court. I believe it's today. We often joke about it because, well, it is so funny of the circumstances and the unknown what the American public doesn't know. What do we call it, Odie? Pizzagate? Nancy Pelosi's husband, the guy in his underwear and pizza in the most fortified home in America with cameras everywhere, and they don't know how he got in. He's headed to court today. The man with the pizza and the hammer. We're going to see what happens. He's to be sentenced today. We'll let you know what becomes of this. David DePappy, he's if I pronounce that correctly, he looks to be in his 30s. We'll let you know what becomes of that. America never knows exactly what it is. This is disturbing as we see this, as we see that around America we have fought to keep our conservative values in schools. And what I mean by that is prayer and having preachers on hand. A satanic group says if you can have a pastor there, then, well, we deserve to have a satanic pastor there. What will happen with all of this? I don't know the answer to this. Florida and Texas is where they're targeting on this. We are in a mess. As you all know, if you'll read statistics, when the first time, and I've talked about it several times over the last, 6-7 months there, to where America has fallen below 50% of those who attend church and even believe in God. There's a new world coming for America. It's not good. What our founding fathers founded this country on are way gone. We need prayer. You got to have a leader. And it begins in each small town. No matter where you're watching me from, if you elect a mayor, if you elect a city council, make absolutely sure they have the same beliefs that you do. Do your research before you cast that vote. That is what has happened to America. It is unraveling little bit by little bit. All the way to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Now, New York is where I go on this, and rightfully so. I know that people get up. No one wants to get a speeding ticket, do they? No. It's just not nice. It makes your insurance go up. This guy may have taken it a little bit too far. A state trooper pulled him over. What's he do? Well, he goes and sets the trooper's dad's house on fire. He thought he had trouble with the speeding ticket. Now he's got major problems. What would make somebody think that, hey, that's a great idea?
He didn't get a participation trophy.
No participation trophy. And it goes back to what we just said a minute ago. Our country is running rapid with, well, y'all know, not smart people making decisions. And then others think it's okay to do that. We often talk about this after an election. How many times do you see the signs left on the side of the road? They're just left there. Never done it. Well, we had a guy from West Virginia doing just that, going back and getting the signs. Problem was, as he was getting them, he got bit by a copperhead twice. Ooh. He was rushed to the hospital. They think he's going to be okay, but it didn't feel good. That he was defeated on Tuesday, and he was picking up his signs. We got to give him credit for doing what he was supposed to do. He was running for Secretary of State. Doug Scaife is his name. Copperhead, West Virginia.
So a political snake got him.
A political snake.
And then a copperhead.
Well, I agree. I saw this a couple days ago as I was reading things, and there's not a lot, but I still see some here in the state of Mississippi. I've seen it in Alabama, too, to where, y'all remember during COVID, everybody had a mask on. You can't see really who it is. They would go into banks with this, and then that messes up cameras. North Carolina being one of the first places to go, it's over. You can no longer wear a mask. Why? Oh, yeah, crime is up, and they're using this to disguise their faces over and over and over. I think it's pretty safe to say that it ain't helping you either. And the majority of people that still do this, every time I pass one, has it below the nose, and that really finishes off. You're not even supposed to touch it, are you? That thing.
Once you put it on, you can't touch it.
Yeah. Once it goes on the old face, you can't touch it. So North Carolina going to outlaw that. And I think it's a good idea nationwide because it is just one thing after another with all of this crime doing all this. There's a lot of people, there's a generation that is watching me this morning that probably won't understand what I'm fixing to say. Vietnam. There's some of you out there. There's some of you whose parents, your dad, was in Vietnam. There's a name that went with that went against the American soldier. That name was Jane Fonda. If I remember, Hanoi Jane, isn't that what was the term they called her?
Something like
Hanoi Jane, maybe?
golly.
She was against it. California, and they're getting pushback on this. California, LA County wanting to have a Jane Fonda Day. Not setting well with veterans who were sacrificing their life. You got to remember, these boys did not ask to go to the war. They were drafted. They lost their lives. They came back home. They were spit on. They were mistreated, and you had her running down the American soldier, and they're going to have a Jane Fonda Day. I think this goes back to what we originally started out here talking about, where it has happened to America.
Where did they get the freedom to do that?
Yeah.
From the lives that these men put on.
As Odie just said over there, the freedoms, it's those guys who went and laid their life, and now, of course, we have females doing that. I don't want to leave those out.
No.
But it's the American soldier, whether it's a man, woman, laying down their life for people to come here and complain. Hanoi Jane, and I was right there. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you putting that up there for me. But we cannot, and I urge you, wherever you are, what you do, make sure you understand history so that history does not repeat itself. There's so many people nowadays that want to erase history altogether, and it will repeat itself if you get rid of what happened. People have to know. Let's see what else here. I don't know a lot about this subject. It's just beginning to start, and I'm guilty of not reading up on as much of it as I know. AI, artificial intelligence. Sony Music Group sending out letters to 700 companies saying, with your artificial intelligence, you better not use Sony products to create this. And again, I have not read up enough on all of this to understand it fully, but the best of my knowledge, as you take a picture, it scans the internet. If you type in you want a picture of a guitar player, it scans the internet of pictures that are out there and forms a new one from what's out there. It's almost if is, in a roundabout way, is taking someone else's work. But again, I don't know enough about it to be a scholar in the subject. Let's see what else is happening today here. This is something we need to pay attention to because we've got bad weather moving in tonight. As we look at storms that blew through Houston, Texas yesterday, we have 4 people that are dead. 4 due to bad weather yesterday. We're going to keep you up to date with the very latest when it comes to weather here next. Get you all updated on that. We're at a level 2 now. It dropped yesterday afternoon to a level 1. It is shot back up overnight to a level 2. We'll show you that on the map here in just a moment. What to expect, what kind of weather. All that's next as we start this day together. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn.
The Preserve at Meridian is the premier senior living community in the Meridian area, offering independent living cottages, assisted living, and maintain their independence and pursue an engaging lifestyle with a robust activities calendar, personalized care programs, wellness activities, restaurant-style dining, and much more. Call or visit us online today at preserveatmeridian.com to schedule your personal tour.
And welcome back. Your friend Scotty Ray, along with a studio full of folks. As I understand, Greg's been buying Girl Scout cookies in the parking lot of the studio. Are they good? I'm getting a
Do-si-dos.
do-si-dos. There you go. He loves those. Let's talk about weather a moment. As I mentioned a moment ago, we have a level 2 today as we pull up radar. Here's what we're showing. Right there, a level 2 for Meridian as it splits Lauderdale County. Now, Newton, you're going to be involved in this level 2 today. This will come across taking Hickory, Chunky. As you get to Meridian, it will go extend all the way to Marion as we'll look at this line here through Tumsuba. Let's turn on our locations where you get a really good view of this, of where to cut across. Lamar School there. Right across there at the intersection, cutting over, taking in North Hill Street over to the country store, and then this will dip down to the Walmart on 19, and then into Newton County it will go. But a level 2 is what we've got today. Now, as we look at this, let me turn this off and show you this. Now, this backs up. Let me show you the whole picture, and then I'll show you. This takes in from Lafayette all the way over to Columbus, Georgia, Dothan, Alabama, Biloxi, Houma, Louisiana, starting right here at Meridian, Mississippi. Again, level 2, which means tornadic activity could occur this afternoon. Now, let's turn off the severe and show you what's happening right now. Look at this line of thunderstorms that we have right now. This is moving across Smith County as we get in to Jasper County and to Clark County, and then heavy thunderstorms on the eastern side of Lauderdale County out to Tumsuba and southward toward Clarkdale area. Be cautious, be careful, and we're having a lot of little slip and slides here, I-20. Be careful. We don't want anything to happen to you. So we're watching it very closely. Let's get deeper into the forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we come back for that forecast, we go back for our record highs and our record lows. Here's what we've got. 1962, it was a hot day. 93 today is what it was. As we look at our coldest day of the year, not really that long ago, but can y'all believe 2011 is a decade ago? Yeah, it was 43 degrees in 2011. As we glance at today, the best we're going to get is somewhere between 82 to 84 through here, and heavier rain all the way up toward Columbus, Mississippi is what we're expecting. Now, as we look at the Bama side of things, about 80 there in Demopolis. We should see 78 through Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. Now, this is older of what we've got here. This has been moved up. The National Weather Service hasn't updated it. But we're still looking at this flash flooding this morning as we see at least anywhere from 2 to 4. I've seen as much as 5 inches of rain could fall, and this is showing from Kemper County southward toward the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Be cautious, be careful. A lot of rain will fall over the next 48 hours. We want you to be on top of this. As we look at Bama, here's what we're looking at here. They're showing this as well there. And again, that's going to be outdated as well. They updated this a minute ago. The National Weather Service just had not put it out when we got into work this morning. We show that our temperatures, here we are, warmer, hot southern Mississippi as that line comes across there. Even still warmer down in South Texas now. If you're going to be down there near the border, be cautious. It's hot. Here's our 7-day forecast as we pull it up today. 80 to 81 maybe should be the best as it's updated. 90% chance of thunderstorm activity today. Now, we're going to drop tomorrow as the temperatures drop to 82 with a low of 64, but 70% chance of rain even on Saturday, so a wet one for us. As we look to Sunday, it's getting better, down to a 10% chance of rain, but highs start creeping back up, 87. Look at this, Monday and Tuesday, about 91. Slight rain chances bring that forecast down temperature to about 88 there. Now, as we go for another week, we're going to be steady somewhere between 89 and 90. Several chances of thunderstorm activity as we look at this over the next 2 weeks as we head toward June. Can you believe that? 89. Don't forget that we've got thunder. What's it called, Odie?
Storms?
No, coming in Monday to the Ag Center. Rolling Thunder.
Bikers.
Bikers. Run to the wall. Run to the wall. Run for the wall. That's coming in on Monday. Why I went blank, I don't know. They're going to be hosting and staying in Meridian. Let's be on our best behavior and welcome those guys. There'll be people here from all portions of the United States stopping for an overnight stay in our city as they ride to Washington. Run for the wall. I got it all right now. I said it correct. I feel better. As we look at our major times to fish today, let's pull up what Chet tells us. It's going to be perfect time to fish today, somewhere around 8:40. I guess you could call that 8:30, and we'll be good till about 10:30 or so. Another major time will be after dark. You got a slight chance of rain late this afternoon around 2:30 to 4:30 if you get off early on a Friday. Now, I'm warning you might get wet if you go out this afternoon and hit all of that. South wind's going to be 5 to 10 with gusts of about 20 miles an hour. Now, if we have a thunderstorm, this could gust up to about 60 miles an hour. That's a lot, isn't it? I think a Girl Scout sneezed. I know I heard something in the studio. We got a big show lined up for y'all today. Another challenge there between Greg and I think she's coming today. She said she wasn't coming back, but we'll see. Oh, she's there. Okay. Y'all come do it. Julia's going to be challenging Greg for the title of Who Knows the Most. That's all the way beginning at 7 o'clock. I hope you'll join us for that. We've got a bunch of headlines that have gone on over the last 24 hours to update you on it. All happening here at the Scotty Ray Report. Won't you join us? We do that. We'll be right back with more coming up from the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.